Hola a todos, my name is Raphy, and I'm going to walk you through how to prepare the A-level Spanish photocard in the 5 minutes that you get. Afterwards, me and Mitul will do a demonstration, with Mitul acting as the examiner and me as the student, so that you guys can see how it would be in the real exam. So, la influencia de los ídolos. So we already know that it's going to be about this subtheme from year 12, about role models and modelos a seguir, and so that's good to have that in mind. And so it says, Manu Ríos es un actor español de 26 años que ganó reconocimiento internacional por su papel en la serie de Netflix Elite. So it's basically saying Manu Ríos, so he's a famous Spanish actor, he's 26 years old, he gained international recognition for his role in the series Netflix Elite. Antes de su éxito como actor, ya tenía una gran presencia en redes sociales, especialmente en Instagram, donde cuenta con millones de seguidores. So here it's saying that he was already quite famous on social media, en redes sociales, especialmente en Instagram, so especially on Instagram, where he had millions of followers. Él ha usado su plataforma para visibilizar a la comunidad LGBTQ+. Lo que nos hace diferentes y únicos no es algo de lo que debamos avergonzarnos. So here they're saying that he's used his platform to give visibility to the LGBTQ+ community. And what's in quotation marks is what makes us different and unique is not something that we should be embarrassed about. Contaba Manu Ríos al recoger su premio como uno de los hombres del año de GQ en 2024. So he won a prize for being one of the men of the year from the organization GQ in 2024. So the key ideas here is he's a famous Spanish actor, he's got millions of followers on Instagram, he was already famous before, and we can see that like perhaps the most important part of the text can be found in the third paragraph, where they talk to us about how he's used his platform to give visibility to the LGBTQ community, and they've given us a quote about what he said. So, without further ado, let's start answering the questions. ¿Cómo reaccionas tú ante esta información? So they're asking, how do we react to this information? So it's really important here to try use a subjunctive, to try reach those higher grammar marks, and kind of be able to show that you're able to express yourself, your opinion, and your thoughts about the text. So there are some different ways of forming subjunctive. One of them is using this formation here, where we say me parece que. So then what we can do is between me parece and que, we put a verb, and that's our opinion, because we're expressing an opinion about the text and how we've reacted to it. So me parece, we're going to put a negative. We're going to put a positive thing. We're going to say me parece genial. So we think it's great. Que haya. So haya is the subjunctive, the present subjunctive of the verb haber. Que haya. So I'm just going to leave that in there. So that's an example of a verb you can use. Que haya utilizado su plataforma de esta manera. So I'm just saying here, what we've said is, I think it's great that he's using his platform in this way, and then you would put something like ya que, so then you can expand, and in the actual exam you would expand on this. Obviously, remember, you only have 5 minutes when reading through the photocard, so we're going to go a bit slower in this preparation, just because I'm trying to talk you guys through stuff as well. But in the real thing, you only have 5 minutes, so it's important that you don't write out full like a paragraph, for example. It's better just to do like 1 or 2 bullet points per question, and then you can expand on that in the actual part of the exam. And then so then we can also put además opino que Manu Ríos es un gran ejemplo de un buen modelo a seguir. So I've just said, in my opinion, Manu Ríos is a great example of a good modelo a seguir. Going back to the subjunctive, just to want to touch on a bit more, we could have also said, we could also have done indirect subjunctive. So we could have said, es fundamental que los actores utilicen su plataforma así. So again, we've used the subjunctive of utilizar. here. And we used es fundamental, so that's like an indirect way of using the subjunctive. Es fundamental que utilicen su plataforma. And so those are two examples of how you can use it, either with the valoration of me parece genial, so me parece plus like your opinion about it, so whether good, bad, whatever, and then you add the subjunctive there, or you could use es fundamental or es genial or anything. You just, again, the same here, you put like the valoration there and use es, and then you can use the subjunctive again. Moving on to the next question. ¿Crees que los jóvenes famosos del mundo hispano pueden ser una mala influencia para sus seguidores? So here it's asking us whether we think that the famous people in the Hispanic world can be a bad influence para sus seguidores. So here it's really important that you're aware of the subject material and you've done a little bit of research and you understand what's like the key core ideas of this topic. So off the top of my head, I know that there is a Spanish reggaeton artist called Anuel A, but we can use him as an example. So what we would probably say is sí, creo o pienso que hay varios, so there are some jóvenes famosos que están siendo una mala influencia para sus seguidores. So here I've just said, I think there are some famous young people that are being a bad influence on their followers. Por ejemplo, Anuel ha utilizado palabras muy ofensivas en algunas de sus canciones, and then you could talk about how that is young people might copy him, and so that could be something negative. But here I'm kind of just trying to stick with the structure of giving two core ideas for each question, so then in the actual exam you would be able to expand on it. ¿Conoces a otros ídolos del mundo hispánico que hayan dado un buen ejemplo a otros con sus acciones? So here they're asking us for other modelos a seguir, so other role models from the Spanish world or the Hispanic world that have given a good example to others with their actions. And so again, I would tell you guys to refer back to the mind maps on the A-Star Language website, because there are some great examples there. And so what I've got two that I can think of right now. You've got Bad Bunny with the Good Bunny Foundation, or you can just say La Fundación Good Bunny. And you've got Shakira with the another foundation, La Fundación Pies Delgados, I think it's called. And so you've got those two foundations, and we can say estos dos ídolos han utilizado su plataforma para ayudar a los niños. And then you can talk about how in Shakira's case she's used the foundation to help children in poverty in Colombia, and that Bad Bunny's is helping children in poverty access music and art and whatnot. So I've just kind of written down the core ideas, and from there you can expand on it. And then so it's also to reach the highest marks and to show that you have good understanding of the text, you need to ask the examiner some questions. And so an example of, and we want to use usted because it's in a formal context here. So we want to put, so some examples, an example of a question we could say is something like, ¿Usted cree que más modelos a seguir, or same, modelos a seguir is the same as ídolos, by the way, deberían utilizar su plataforma para visibilizar a comunidades excluidas? So should these actors and role models use their platform to further give visibility to communities like the LGBTQ community that are being excluded or perhaps are, yeah. There you go. And then the next question we could probably, oh wait, I'm just gonna pull this up. The next question that we could ask is, para usted, ¿qué son las características que, que tiene que tener un buen modelo? Así. So here I've just said, for you or for usted, what are the characteristics or what is the personality traits that a good role model should have? So just overall review of this, of the questions. Here we've got, so you see question 1, we've used the subjunctives, trying to reach those high grammar marks, some different ways of using the subjunctive. Again, just giving like 2 clauses that then you can expand on. Second question, giving an example of a bad role model and why, and then answering the question as well. And then a third one, giving 2 examples of good role models, and then you can expand on that and how they've used their platform for good. And then lastly, we've given 2 questions to ask the examiner. So now that we've done the preparation, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the structure of the mark scheme and the kind of the key points about the mark scheme. So in the mark scheme, you have 10 marks for grammar. So that means that they're going to be looking for grammatical errors in your speaking. They're also going to be expecting a high level of grammar, so using the subjunctive, being able to show your opinion, being able to like use present tense, past tense, future tense, you know, all of that good stuff is important to reach the high level grammar marks. Then the 5 marks for understanding, so that's just you being able to show the examiner, so you can, that's helpful with the questions as well. You being able to show the examiner that you've understand what you've read and you are now able to kind of, so that's, you're able to reply to the questions and you're not missing anything out and you know what the text is actually saying and you're not just like waffling. And then 5 marks for delivery, so that just refers to basically your cohesiveness. So if you're taking lots of pauses when you're speaking, that will take marks off your delivery, but also like your pronunciation. But obviously keep in mind that the examiner, and if the examiner is going to know that you're not going to be speaking perfect Spanish, so don't worry about that. But it's more about not taking too many pauses, trying to speak in a fluid way. And then 5 marks for critical analysis and the knowledge responding to the question. So this kind of is referring to, again, have you understood the questions? Have you applied yourself and your own knowledge from outside of the photocard to the questions, and have you used critical analysis in doing that? And so this is how the mark scheme is made up for this question. And then last but not least, I wanted to go through a few speaking tips. Number 1, practice, practice, and practice. So this basically, what I meant here is you should be speaking in Spanish as much as you can. If you have Spanish friends, in Spanish with them. If you have in Spanish class, raise your hand, answer questions. The more you speak it, the easier it will be and the more comfortable you will become and the more helpful that will be when it comes to the day of the exam. 2, have confidence in yourself. I know it's hard speaking a language that perhaps you're not completely comfortable with, but be confident in yourself. Try to get comfortable with Spanish. Know that it doesn't have to be perfect, but the more confident you are when you come into the exam, the easier it will be to maintain like a fluid conversation. But don't stress about that. And then consume Spanish media. So by this, again, just watch Spanish TV, listen to Spanish music, read Spanish news, Spanish books, because all of these are great ways of exposing yourself to Spanish culture. And it will also help with your revision, because when you get to the photocard, oh, well, I listened to a Spanish artist and I know that they have this foundation like Bad Bunny, for example, and that can be really helpful for the day of the exam. So thank you guys so much. Now we're going to move on to the mock demonstration with Mitul as the examiner and me as the student. See you guys then.
Hola Raphy, ¿qué tal estás?
Hola Mitul, ¿qué tal? Yo estoy bien, ¿y tú?
Vale, muy bien, gracias. También todo va bien. Vale, vamos
Me
a
alegro.
empezar con la tarjeta D. Sí, vale. ¿Cómo reaccionas tú ante esta información?
Pues me parece genial que haya gente que hayan utilizado su plataforma de esta manera, ya que es una muy buena forma de que los ídolos pueden enseñar a la sociedad y puedan ayudar a la sociedad y enseñar a las personas que de verdad quieren ayudar a la sociedad. Y pienso que es fundamental que los actores utilicen así su plataforma, porque es una muy buena manera de contribuir. Además, opino que Manu Ríos es un gran ejemplo de un buen modelo a seguir, debido a sus acciones, pero también por otras cosas que ha hecho en su vida profesional.
Muy bien, ¿vale? ¿Y cómo reaccionas tú? Perdón, ¿y crees que los jóvenes famosos del mundo hispánico pueden ser una mala influencia para sus seguidores?
Opino que sí, opino que hay modelos a seguir que han sido malos ejemplos para los jóvenes. Un ejemplo de estas personas es Anuel, que es un cantante famoso español que ha utilizado unas palabras que han sido una falta de respeto hacia las mujeres y al final han sido una mala influencia para los jóvenes. Porque si los jóvenes van escuchando